Hey guys, back with another video. I just saw a video that was quite disturbing, but curiosity got the best of me. I saw a video that happened in Ohio, where I live. And it's not just where I live. This kind of stuff is happening all over the place, right? What you talking about, MJ? Well, I'm about to tell you, right? I just saw a news report and somebody else did a video about there was this mom. She dropped her child off at a relative's house to, I guess, babysit, provide child care or whatever. And somehow the little girl got outside and came in contact with I guess a group of kids. And eyewitnesses, did you hear me? I said eyewitnesses reported that there were 3 children who were taking the little girl somewhere about less than a quarter mile away from her home. So basically like right around the corner. Kind of, sort of, so to speak, right? They took her, I guess, to a nearby field, or it looked to me like where houses or somebody, it was a house there, but the house was torn down or something, so it was just a grassy field there. They took her to this field, and apparently, again, I'm gonna say it again, there were eyewitnesses. They didn't say if they were adults or older children or whatever. And there's video footage. I guess people were recording, or maybe the children themselves recorded themselves brutalizing, assaulting, raping the 5-year-old, and the 2 children that were charged were 9 and 10, a boy and a girl. And we live in a world where people get upset with you if you talk bad about kids. And I read a comment that said demons come in all shapes and sizes. And that's true. Because what happened to that little girl was awful. She was scalped. I mean, like, they, I guess, were pulling her braids out of her scalp. They said that the ambulance got her some kind of way. I don't know if somebody called 911. She was found in a field, and the ambulance was called. The ambulance came and took her to the hospital, and I guess she was so banged up and so beat up that they had to put her, make her unconscious some kind of way. They have all kind of meds, and they can, put you out of your misery, right? So they gave her something to make her like unconscious. And when the mother got to the hospital, they said they later found her clothes in the field too. Investigators found her clothes in the field. Now, mind you, they said it was a 9 and a 10-year-old. And somebody was saying it was a group of kids, but we know that the 9 and the 10-year-old are having adult charges. They're being charged with a whole bunch of stuff. You can look it up. Channel 19 News did the news story about it. And they said, the mom said when the little girl woke up from her, I'll let you guys go look into it. It was very disturbing. Um, People don't want you talking about children. I call them gutter butts. People that do stuff like this are gutter butts. There are little gutter butts being raised by big gutter butts. And everybody, everybody doesn't deserve to be a parent. Being a parent is an honor and a privilege. It is. And if you're raising children, you have to kind of have a certain moral coding and a mindset. People go, oh, I can have whatever kind of moral coding I want. Yeah, you can. And you end up raising little monsters like the children who did unspeakable acts to that little 5-year-old. We have a 5-year-old whose life is forever changed. You know, we can say we don't know what happened to those older children who decided they wanted to do these things to a 5-year-old. Probably pretended to be her friend and was gonna hang out with her and just took her and had their way with her. We have a 5-year-old whose life is forever changed. They say hurt people hurt people. That's probably true, because I can't imagine any of my children at 9 and 10. I can't imagine. But like the moral coding was always on point. They would never, ever, you know. And I'm not the type of person to say what my children would never do, but that I'm gonna make that one exception. Something like that. I taught my children not to follow the crowd. If you see something, say something. Witnesses, I don't know if they were older kids or I can't imagine it. Well, yes, I can. I was gonna say I can't imagine an adult standing around. Watching watching and filming something like that. And then the children who were involved, we're gonna, you know, the 9 and 10-year-old who have the charges pressed against them now. What kind of justice will we really see? Because the laws that we have in place now, on the books now, excuse me, those children will see the light of day again. We have morons who believe that when children commit these kind of acts, that they can be rehabilitated. We can't lock them up and throw away the key. Like they get a second chance. A second chance to do things like this to another victim. And this time, the victim survived. That child is going to need years of therapy, and even that won't help her. I don't think therapy can help you get past something like that. It's going to take a supernatural type of healing. a supernatural kind of counselor to get her beyond what happened to her. So I've had in the past, you guys who have been here with me before, you guys have seen how I've made videos and then people come in and say, oh, you shouldn't be calling people's kids gutter butts. Well, that's what they are. I could say a lot worse, but I, try to keep it clean. Some gutter butts, I just feel like when you hear stories like this and when you see how they behave, how the gutter butts behave, the gutter butt parents don't care about their kids. They let them just get out of the house. They don't care. They just, as long as the kids are out of the house, out of their face, off their nerves, they don't care what those little gutter butts are out there doing. And they're like, well, people have a right. You can't tell people how to raise their kids. Yeah, but we should be able to do something to protect our children. I would forever blame the family member who I left my child in their care, and you let my 5-year-old get out of the house to have that happen. Where were you? And it was a family member. You cannot trust your family member with your children. If you do, you better make sure your family members' heads are on straight. You better make sure your family members have morals. Everybody living in that house has a moral coding. The person that you're leaving your child responsible for is not leaving them with other people, not just letting them run all around the house and not pay attention to what they're doing because they're in the house. You have to have someone who's really morally upright and has your child's best interest at heart. You understand what I'm saying? And if none of those variables exist in your family member's house that you're taking your children to, you might want to rethink that. And let's not think we're safe when we put our kids in daycare. You're literally putting your kids in a situation where at least 50 to 60 children from all walks of life, from all different backgrounds, from you don't know what's going on in their homes, and they're understaffed. 2 staff members for every 20 kids or something like that, right? No way they could possibly keep an eye on all of your kids. And that's where the trauma begins. The minute we take our kids from our homes, and people go, the minute we take let me finish that thought. The minute we take our kids from our homes where we know or hopefully they're being cared for, looked after, not being harmed or injured, they're in a loving environment, and we take them from that loving environment and put them in daycare centers, I feel like we throw them to the wolves. And that's where the bulk of children's trauma begins, when we take them out of the home and put them in with a whole bunch of other gutter butts. I mean, not that your kid is a gutter butt, but if you're raising your child, you can see it. You can see a sweet child. You can see the transformation when you take a child who's been loved and cared for and looked after, right? And you can see when you put them in from the time before they were placed in these institutions, daycare, school, relatives' homes, whatever. The minute you take your child and change their environment and introduce them to a new environment, you can see the change. If you're paying attention. Most parents are too busy trying to get the bag to see the damage they're doing to their children, right? Children come home and tell their parents they're being bullied on. And their parents, well, you know, tell the teacher. What they don't understand is teachers aren't security jobs. Teachers aren't security guards. Teachers aren't social workers. Teachers aren't. They have to wear all these different hats. Hats they don't even get paid for. You don't pay teachers enough to have to deal with the crap that they go through. I guess my bottom line is, hide your wife, hide your kids, guard these children. I'm going to say it again. We're living in a time and a space where there's a big, dark, evil, heavy blanket over my video. I think when my video goes to a certain point, it turns off. I think there's an automatic timer on it, but I have to figure that out. I'm not real tech savvy, so maybe I have my daughter look at it or something, because this used to be her camera. But at any rate, I'll start where I left off. There's this big, heavy, dark, is what I imagine it. A big, heavy, dark, invisible, weighted blanket across the whole nation, the world, right? And we can feel it. If you can't feel it, maybe you're one of them. Maybe you're the darkness has taken you. You know what I'm saying? Because there are people who have been taken by the darkness. There are people in all shapes, colors, sizes, little people that we think can do no harm. Oh, they're just innocent children. They're not. Those children have been consumed by the darkness, by dark forces, by dark energy. And we just cannot know. Gone are the days, if they even existed. They never existed for my kids. Gone are the days where you just say, oh, they're just kids, let the kids go outside and play. I was never that kind of mother. Who is that? If my children were in their yard playing and kids came over, who is that? Where do you live? Where do you come from? I'm asking all kind of questions. Oh, what's your mama's name? I want to know where you live, what you doing. My children were never able to just go out and play like we did when I'm Gen X. So my children were never able to we were the lost generation. The kids that just get out of the house. We were all over the neighborhood, in other people's neighborhood. We were everywhere, right? Just get on out of the house and play. Long gone are those days. And bad stuff even happened back then. I just steered clear from it. I think I had a cover, a veil of protection over me. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think. I know I had a veil of protection over me my whole life, still to this day, right? I've always, for the most part, steered clear or was able to be unharmed, even though I walked through the valley of the shadow, okay, of danger and death. I was around. Probably shouldn't have said that. I'll maybe bleep that out. Or not, I don't know. I was around evil, dark forces as a child, and for some reason I was spared and I was protected from a lot of just awful stuff, like what this little girl went through. You know, we have to watch our children. Guard them from family members. Your children shouldn't be going to stay over my auntie's house. I'm sorry, your aunt cannot babysit the kids, especially if you know Auntie's moral coding is not up to code. You get what I'm saying? Or you risk your children being damaged, and hopefully you got money to pay for years of therapy, because everybody's not equipped to do the work. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's just not. They say we're all born with that spark, the divine spark. I don't believe that's true. Some people are natural healers. Some people have it within themselves to heal themselves and to help other people heal. Everybody don't have it. I'm not going to argue that point. I said what I said. But these little gutter butts are out here running around having teachers quit their jobs. It's so bad, teachers are quitting. Y'all can find the videos. But the video I watched, I can't remember the guy's name. The title is 9-year-old, 10-year-old. I can't remember. It happened in, look up for Channel 19 News or something like that. 9-year-old, 10-year-old. Wow, what they did to that little girl was crazy. I'm never going to apologize for, I walked away from my entire family, blood family. And I'm never going to apologize for that. It was so much dysfunction and just people out of line, grown folks out of line, gutter butts raising gutter butts. And I just knew they were going down the wrong path. I've had insight my whole life. And I was told by family members, you think you're better. My sister, to be exact, she said, you think your children are better than mine. And I remember specifically telling her, no, I don't think my children are better than yours. I know my children have a better mother than yours do. I said that all that years ago, and I still stand by it. And the proof is in the pudding. Guard your children. I know you gotta work, but if you know you gotta work and you're not willing to sacrifice your career, if you know you cannot have children without putting them in daycare, if you know you can't have children and provide the best quality of life for them, don't be selfish. Do those future souls a favor and do not bring them in to this world. Now I know everybody, wants to hear, or they say they want to hear, bright, happy, positive stories. There's nothing bright and positive at all about the climate we live in, about the spirits and the I don't even want to call them people, but I guess that's what we call them. There's nothing funny or cute or good about most of the people that are walking around smiling in your face. Even your friends, some of your friends are plotting your demise, or they're hoping you fall. You know what I'm saying? Who is raising these little monsters? Well, we know who's raising these little monsters. Don't be the parent who just, because those are your nieces and your nephews, you allow them to stay over and stay the night, or you allow your children to go over and stay the night. No staying the night. Trust nobody when it comes to your kids. Don't trust them. You get what I'm saying? Have cameras in your house. If you have to leave a relative in your house with your children, if they're not doing anything wrong, then they shouldn't have a problem with it being a camera, and the cameras all over the house, right? And you can tell, your children will let you know, even if they can't talk. If your child is screaming and crying every time somebody comes in the room, that might not be a good situation for your child. Now, some children are just spoiled and but you got to really pay attention. You have to have the gift of discernment to realize if it's a child that just doesn't want to be bothered that day, or they want to stay with mommy and daddy. Sometimes children will, I don't want to go, but every single friggin' day, no way, no way, no way. Don't leave your children with these nuts. Unfortunately, the mom thought she could trust a family member. Her daughter's life was spared, but she will forever be changed. And wow, that's all I got. Guard your children, guard your grandchildren, even in schools. You know what kind of crap is happening in school bathrooms, on the playground? Ooh. Nope. Take them kids out of those schools, homeschool them. That's where your village comes in at. If you have a family member who's moral coding is right, let that family member homeschool those kids. And even if they're not qualified, or they don't feel like they're qualified, or they don't want to homeschool those kids, sign your kids up for online learning, right? And let the responsible, morally upright family member be in guardianship of the children while you're at work. Okay, you got a family member that's not working, let them be able to stay home with those kids while those children are online learning. Anything is better than putting them in these institutions that we say is, oh, it's good for them, send them there. No, these are breeding grounds for, training grounds for prison. And they got rid of the psych ward, so I guess prison is the only place they're going to be going, because they turn your children. They can turn your children if you're not diligent, if you're not willing to be the type of warrior for your children, constantly saying the same things over and over again. I can't stand when I hear people saying, oh, you can raise your children the best way you can, and they'll still go out and do. Okay, now stop. Children will go out and be mischievous, right? But graping and assaulting and that type stuff, if you're raising them right, your children aren't going out doing stuff like that. They can't even be influenced to do stuff like that. These are dark, demonic, spirits that have taken the form of children. They smile, they lure you in. Even friends, if there's been grown-ups, there's been women who have been on trips with so-called friends that they didn't have the gift of discernment, or they found out a little too late once they were already on vacation and figured out these people don't like me, and it was too late because the plan was already in motion to alter your life or end it. You get what I'm saying? People plot. That's why I don't have friends, because not in real life, not friends that I travel with, not friends that I go over their house, not friends that I let come in my house, because I don't trust people. I'm sorry. People are inherently evil. And people can be born evil. Children can be born evil. And they grow up to be evil adults. Not everybody is the source of light. Not everybody is and the sad part is not everybody has discernment. Not everybody can see when people don't mean them no good. Some people want friends so bad that they'll go around people that don't mean them hard, that don't mean them any good. people that plot against them. Don't have children if you can't afford to keep them home with you. If you can't afford to make sure that you indoctrinate your children with your moral coding, and that you practice discernment. You can practice comprehension skills, social awareness, situational awareness should be a part of every child's homeschool lessons. Situational awareness, self-defense. You know how you teach your children reading readiness, and the biggest part of reading is not reading super fast, not speed reading. The biggest part of reading is comprehension. You have to teach your children how to read the room. That's a saying, read the room. Everybody don't know how to read the room. People walk into rooms smiling, laughing, trying to be friends with people that don't even like them, didn't even read the room. These people don't like you. I am so thankful that I've had the gift of discernment my entire life. My children have the gift of discernment. And if they were unsure, they knew that they could always count on mama to let them know, I don't like her, she not right, watch him. I've always been that way. Every time I told my children, that person, you need to watch them, I was always right. Mama has the gift of discernment. Get around somebody who has the gift of discernment. If you're an adult, and if they're never wrong about people, ask them to come with you to a social event. You know what I'm saying? So they can have your back. You need that spiritual discernment. You need that in your life. If you have a friend that's like maybe a homebody or whatever, a friend that can read the room, can read people like a book, take them with you if you don't have it. That's not, it might seem like I'm bragging, but I'm not. That's not something that I claimed for on my own. It's a natural, it's a supernatural experience for me. I have the gift of discernment. Even when people are smiling and they're being super polite, buying you stuff, I can tell when they're just evil. And going in a room full of people, the energy's kind of like, it's almost like they're trying to cling to me, and I have to, that's why I can't go out in public. I can't be in crowded situations a lot. I have to be set apart. And I believe that some people are meant to be set apart so that you know, we can stay sane, and we're protected. We can keep that gift of discernment. I might be all over the place with this one, but guys, guard your children. If you're already a mom, and you have your children in schools and these daycares, I'm sorry. My children went to school too, when I didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that my children weren't damaged for the rest of their lives, because I know that for a fact that my children have met dark entities, and they've had to deal with gutter butts, you know, but not to the extent that little 5-year-old girl had to deal with. Children they can be wicked. A lot of it is what they learn at home. A lot of it is not having boundaries at home, being able to access the internet all willy-nilly. 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds having cell phones, video recording whatever they're doing to other people's kids. Even if your kid starts off innocent with a cell phone, other people with demonic spirits on them. They will send your children stuff to the cell phone and stuff like that. Teach your children to tell. Not all children tell for whatever reason. I don't know if because they want to be popular, they don't come to you and say, hey mom, look what so-and-so sent to my phone. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe that's a little demon seed in the making. They didn't tell because they liked what they saw that their friends sent them, that they had no business having their eyes on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In my world, in my videos, everybody can get it. The from the big gutter butts to the little gutter butts, they can all get a piece of my mind. I don't just take children at face value. Children are just children. Oh, let the kids be kids. You can have that mindset if you want to, and you're going to spend a lifetime of your children blaming you for not looking out for them, for putting them in places they shouldn't have been. You'll have the guilt of, oh, I didn't know. Well, if you see this video, tighten it up. Tighten up. Do not allow your children to be around children. You don't know what's going on in their home. You don't know what the moral coding is like in the home. You don't know what the parents' mindset is like. No staying the night. No sleepovers. You're not even going outside to play outside of my view. My children were never allowed to go to other people's kids' yard and play. Well, we're just going to go to my yard and play. We're not going to go inside the house. No, you're not. You're going to stay here and play, or you can go home. Deuces. You can stay here in my yard and play, because I didn't just run kids away. You know what I'm saying? Even the kids that I knew, because remember I told you I have the gift of discernment. Even though the little kids that I knew were bullies, because it was a little girl in school, her name was Rachel. She used to bully on my daughter at school. I let Rachel play in our yard, right? I knew Rachel probably had some shit parents. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that word. Anyway, I knew Rachel probably wasn't being raised right at home. And so I let Rachel stay in the yard and play with my daughter. Not because I wanted Rachel to be and my daughter to be best friends, but because I wanted Rachel to understand that I understood that Rachel was a child, and Rachel wasn't like, I don't think she was like totally demonic gutter butt, right? So I let her stay, I let her play, but she was never allowed to take my daughter anywhere and play with her. And I believe that from what my daughter said, Rachel stopped bullying on her. I think Rachel just wanted to be my daughter's friend, but it maybe was a little bit of jealousy there, but that was her way of, I don't know. When I started letting Rachel come to the yard and play, Rachel chilled out about trying to bully on my daughter, because I let Rachel know in no uncertain terms that I'm not the one, Rachel. I didn't threaten Rachel. I didn't threaten Rachel. But I was nice to Rachel, but I let Rachel know that if you're gonna not play nice, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be allowed to come over here and play. You know what I'm saying? And Rachel wanted to come over my house and play. In my yard and play. I didn't let her in my house. But at any rate, you guys, I'm rambling. I don't know. All I can say is hide your kids. People say, oh, you can't lock your kids up, and you can lock them up for a time. Lock them up, not lock them up. Pause. Not lock them up. But you can keep your kids guarded for a time while you instill moral coding and moral value in them, and give them real life situations. Let them see at age appropriately, of course. Let them see videos and say, well, how would you handle that situation? Did you think that kid was being friendly or nice, or would you have joined in on the bullying? Or you can train your kids in a way, because they're gonna grow up and they're gonna eventually be in the world, and they're gonna need to know how to read the room. They're gonna need to know how to have the gift of discernment. Everybody is not an empath. Everybody can't feel the energy. Everybody can't recognize fake people. Some people take people at face value. If they're smiling in my face, they must be my friend. They must be nice. Oh, they're nice. You don't know that just because somebody smiled and said sweet little nothings or nice things to you. That's why a lot of women let monsters in their homes, and a lot of men let monsters in their homes, because somebody's nice and they're saying feel good words and they're being nice to you. Just because somebody's being nice to you don't mean they like your children. But if you pay attention to the children, they let you know. At any rate, till next time, family, that's all I got. Look it up. It was on 19 News. 9-year-old, 10-year-old assaulted a 5-year-old. Look that up. You'll find it. It was heartbreaking. I cried. And then I decided to make this long ranting video. And until next time, family. Peace.